Hi, and welcome to what will hopefully be a quite short video. Some time ago now, and it really has probably been, God, when did I get these? I think the first quarter of last year. So I've been really remiss in actually creating a video about this. I've actually filmed once or twice, but I did it in the wrong orientation originally and never got back around to it. But essentially, someone on the TFW forums was incredibly kind and reached out to me and sent me these vinyl faction symbols or decals, and these insignias are sort of machine cut, and we worked together after the first batch was sent through. And I think you can see that some of them are more um, toy style in terms of how close together the lines are on the faction symbols here. These, and then we tried some that was slightly more toon style, where they're a little bit wider. The spacing, there's not much in it because of I'm told the way it's cut on the machine makes it difficult to make things really small. But I think they turned that quite well, particularly the Decepticon ones, because those were the originals that were sent, yeah, and we did a variety of colours. And then sort of by going back and forth and tweaking, we then tried the Toon ones, which I think came out really well. And then we tried different colours of the Toon ones, so we've got some really good options depending on the figures. And also tried some white outline ones. Now they're slightly tricky to do because again the way it cuts, they can only go so small and they're very tiny pieces. And each one of these is an individual piece which needs to be stuck to the figure, and they don't adhere quite as easily as your traditional stickers or water slides, dry rubs, etc. But I think, as you can see with these, for example, with dry rubs or whatever, you would have, instead of this being like, I don't know how well it comes out actually, but that's probably better. With this, you can see like the eyes and that are solid pieces, and the crest is a solid piece, and all those bits stick on. Whereas with the dry rubs, it's more of an outline, and the bits in the middle, you would have an outline of the white, and then the crest would be hollow, and the eyes would be hollow, and it would be more of an outline. That's just not possible in terms of how small these pieces are, from what I understand. But I still think these look really good, and yeah, I've only stuck to a few figures so far because I'm very wary about ruining my existing figures paintwork and stuff. So I've changed a few over, but yeah, let's go through and just wanted to show you a few of those. You can see if I can get people's thoughts on how they look. The guy in question asked to remain anonymous because he didn't want to become, or he didn't want to be inundated with requests for similar symbols. But I do, yeah, want to give him a big shout out and say apologies for this taking so long. But yeah, life kind of got in the way, and I did it and then meant to come back to it, and I've only just sort of been reminded to do it. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at some of the ones I have applied. Okay, so starting with what is probably the trickiest one I've done because of the placement and the size. And as you can see, this is one of the Toon-inspired Autobot faction symbols. And there was not a lot of room to work with, and I had hell's work getting this applied because the main body of it would, or the bulk of it would stick, and then like the tiny chin bit at the bottom wouldn't stick, and I'd have to reapply it and try and get the alignment right, and then like the crest would come up and the cheek would come off or whatever. So because of the way it is, and like obviously this isn't a completely flat surface, there are gaps in it. And it's actually placed over some gaps, so it didn't stick very well to those, as you can imagine, because there wasn't enough surface to adhere to. So this was the most tricky and frustrating one I've done, but I think the end result is really good because trying to put a water slide, which is what I traditionally use, on this kind of metallic blue, the results just wouldn't be good unless you used a white backed one, which I don't personally like the look of. I've had to use them quite a lot in my collection where there hasn't been another option, where either it's been on very dark colours or on red, because you can't put red water slides on red figures because they don't appear, essentially. Case in point, it's Sideswipe here, which I've used, as you can see, a sort of white backed one, which doesn't look too bad, but I really do need to get around to using one of the white ones that was sent to me. I just haven't actually had the time or the energy, I should say, to sort of replace everything in my collection. I did a few, as you'll see, but there are still others that I want to try, but I'm just a little bit paranoid about breaking or damaging the paint surface. Anyway, let's move on to the next ones. And here you can see we have a larger symbol on Mirage's chest. I think it looks really good. I'm putting aside the fact that Fans Toys painted his chest and legs incorrectly, and arms. But there we go. I digress. But I still think the faction symbol looks really good. Again, this one was placed before I had the Toon style one, so it's more of a toy style one where the lines are slightly closer together than the jazz faction symbol was. But I don't want to take it off because I don't know if I'll place the next one as well, and I'm really happy with this one, and it still looks really good. And the thing with the Autobot faction symbols is that the toy and the cartoon ones, there's not that much difference. I think the cartoon was just more spaced out and crappy looking just because they drew it that way. But this is definitely, if you compare it to, say, for example, an official Autobot insignia, you know, they're on Hound, or the one on Ratchet, for example, or, you know, even the official one on Blue Streak there, or even, you know, that's a good one actually next to it, Wheeljack. It's quite small, but you can see the gaps are very small, whereas these are bigger gaps anyway, so it does look more Toon styled. But yeah, really happy with how that turned out actually. I think it looks really good. And again, moving on to another figure in the collection with a blue background, same sort of finish as Jazz actually. This metallic blue on Ultra Magnus here. I think that looks really good. This one definitely is one of the first ones. You can see that the lines are slightly closer together than Mirage and Jazz again. So this is definitely one of the first ones. It's a toy inspired one, because the Toon inspired ones came after I'd already applied this. This was one of the first ones I did. And it, yeah, again, I still think it looks really good. I may swap it at some time, but I'm loath to remove it given the effort that went into creating them and to applying them. Yeah, that red really pops, doesn't it, against the blue in a way that a water slide just wouldn't unless you used the white background. And even perhaps a dry rub or whatever. I think, you know, maybe even stickers. The vinyl has a sheen to it that really matches the metallic paint. So I just think it really looks great. And again, yeah, I may swap it over for a Toon one, but the differences are quite minimal with the Autobot ones, as I said. So maybe I don't want to, you know, let all that effort go to waste. And I may not place it as well next time. Let's move on to some Decepticons actually, because that's where you'll see the biggest difference. Sorry, I tell a lie. I forgot that I'd applied one to Cliffjumper here, and obviously you can see this is one of the white outline ones. Now, again, it's difficult to get the outlines cut very thin from what I'm told, so it's not as thin as maybe you'd see on a dry rub, but I think it looks better than putting a white back sticker on there, for example, like I did with Sideswipe. It's just cleaner. And yeah, I really like the way it looks. I think it's a very nice looking faction symbol. You know, I think it just, again, if pops is the right word with the white, but it's just although not hugely thin, it's very clean, and I like that. Just really adds to the figure, I think. And you can see, even compared to the official Bumblebee, you know, that doesn't really have a massively sort of wide Toon style. It's quite subtle, but if you then compare that to the one that I've got on Brawn here, you can see the gaps on the water slides I use are much smaller, more akin to the toys and some. So there's even variation on the official figures here and the ones you saw in the previous clip, you know, of Blue Streak and Wheeljack and that, where they're closer together. But I do need to change out the sort of figures on like Brawn and stuff here, and definitely Huffer, because Huffer is a sticker. It's not even a water slide, it's a sticker, and it doesn't look good at all. You can see there's actually bits where it doesn't even look like it's adhered properly, and it looks worse off camera, in fact, because there's not a light on it. But you can see the purple is shining through. So I do need to replace that with a vinyl, because I think that would look much better. My only worry is this metallic paint. I do stress about damaging it, taking the water slides off, but I should be okay as long as I'm careful and I apply enough moisture. But definitely need to do that at some point. Okay, now we are on the Decepticons, and yeah, moving on. This is where you really sort of see I think what these vinyl decals offer, I did have a water slide on here before, but it was quite a dark purple and very much toy inspired, which if you look at any of my videos, my collection videos, you'll be able to see that. But yeah, once I got that off and put this on, there's no contest in my mind. I think this looks really nice indeed. It's honestly just, it looks even better in person. It just yeah, pops off the chest. Nice tune styling, just a lovely. The colour's also pretty accurate as well. I think this was like, I think maybe the second or third attempt we had at the colours, going slightly lighter. Couldn't find the exact match, but you know, this is pretty damn close. I think if I go up here and look at my official megs, that was obviously the Infinite Transformations one. You can see that like it's not exactly the same, but it's a very similar colour. And albeit this is the damaged one, so it makes it harder to see. But it's a very similar colour and effect, you know, or detail. So honestly, really very happy with the way that turned out. And also Soundwave here again looks really nice. The decal I had on there before, it wasn't even a decal actually. Sorry, it was a decal, but it was a sticker. So it didn't look great. It was all bubbly and just, yeah, I wasn't happy with it at all. I think this looks much nicer, far more akin to his cartoon iteration. And yeah, and obviously you'll notice he has an opaque chest here, and that was another little bonus that the chap threw in for me very kindly. It's actually an acrylic piece, one solid blue acrylic piece, which fits neatly into the chest cavity, and obviously that was translucent originally on Acoustic Wave, but I think Soundwave looks much better like this overall with this opaque chest and the insignia. So very happy with that little addition as well, and can understand why he didn't want his name publicised, because he would probably have been inundated for those as well as the faction symbols. Anyway, that's everything I've done so far. Like there are, I feel kind of bad that I've had these since I think April last year. Goodness. And I've only done that handful of figures, but I really have been slightly worried about removing the other ones. I'm probably going to do it for the Fans Toys Decepticons, the movie Decepticons, because when I get their Scourge, I'm going to use one of the new faction symbols if it fits. So then I'll want to update their Galvatron and Cyclonus to match. And then I need to go through and replace a few others. But as you may have noticed, if you're a regular viewer or subscriber, I've been pretty lax on the Transformers content for a while now. I haven't done anything for 3 or 4 months. Again, I'm slowing down with what I'm collecting. That's part of it, but also, you know, life just gets in the way. So that's why it's taken me a while to get to a video like this. Anyway, I hope you thought this was somewhat interesting. You know, the comparison. You know, I'd never seen vinyl decals before, and I was curious myself. And I don't think they're suitable for every situation. You know, sometimes water slides are better, sometimes probably dry rubs, etc., especially for the smaller ones. But for mid to larger size figures, I think they look really good actually. And I'm very happy that I was given these as a test. And yeah, I really pleased with how they turned out. So thank you to the anonymous donor. Yeah, I'm hoping to be back with an actual review of a figure soon. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for that. It will be Fans Toys Inquisitor, their Scourge. I've paid the balance on that, so I'm hoping in the next week or two that will turn up. So if you are a long-time regular viewer of the channel, there will be some additional review content in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled. Until then, I hope you are having a good start to the new year. Take care, and I'll see you next time.